Okay, great. So we start the second meeting of our of the compassion course. We just did the check-ins. If you are listening to it, not in the live session. So I'll just put the presentation that I prepared about judgment. This is the subject of today. And if you just put it up, that you will see. Okay, if you missed the first meeting, also have the compassion course. You will get the first meeting, and it will be no problem for you to catch up. And this is also like the first week we talked about needs and the whole realm of needs. And this week is also kind of introductory about the judgments, the wisdom inside judgments, or how to turn blaming into understanding. So let's dive into. Let's move you to the other side. So last week we talked about everything we do to meet a need. This is the basic concept of nonviolent communication. Of course, the famous quote of Marshall Rosenberg. So if we understand that behind everything we do, there is a need, no matter what. So also every time we judge to meet a need. Since everything we do, it's like we have a purpose behind our judgments. And let's dive in and to check what are these needs, or with the purpose behind our judgments. So, for example, if I think of somebody who is selfish, for an example, what can be the needs? Maybe you can also share your thoughts. If I think of somebody who is selfish, what are the needs behind my judgments? Have any ideas or any sharings that you would like to do?
So I wonder if there's a judgment that someone is selfish. Maybe there's a desire for attention, like that person is needing attention or needing something from that person, and they're not getting it, so they think that person's selfish.
Yeah. Also, by the way, I put in the chat the needs list, and if you don't have it, we can check. So we can check also in the needs list if you can't find. This is the great reason that we have this needs list. That at first I always do it like with myself, and then okay, what other needs can I find? So maybe you can look in the needs list. I put in the chat the needs list of the compassion course, but there are many needs lists. If you are using them, feel free also. Okay, so Astaria shared with us one need. What other needs? Have any ideas that when I say somebody is selfish?
Maybe consideration.
Yeah, very nice. Also, yeah, consideration, to be seen, to see and to be seen. This is one of the big needs. To be seen, consideration. It's part of this group of needs. What else? Maybe you can, if you look at the list, maybe you can find. All right. For me, I found mutuality, like you know, this kind of even relationship. This was for an example. And if I say of someone who is stupid, what are the needs behind me saying of someone who is stupid?
Safety.
What's that, Stanislav?
Safety.
Safety. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes when people are not resonating with your actions, you don't feel secure that you will get the results, right? This is the
Maybe someone is playing with fire and you're nearby. I mentioned such situation.
yeah. This we do now in a generic way, of course, but of course every situation is different, and there are more than one need usually that are playing in the game. Any other ideas? Think of someone who you think is stupid. What is your need behind this judgment?
Sorry, I was speaking, but I was mute. Okay. Maybe it can be a need of reassurance. Like, you see you're stupid, but it has a need like to know that what he's saying is okay. So we need to be reassured.
So the need was, I didn't hear you correctly. What was the need?
Oh, yeah, sorry for my English. So reassured.
Reassuring. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reassured.
Okay. Any more ideas? Okay, I just put it. Yeah, this is something I had in mind, or also this I think it was even in the message of the week. Yeah, maybe something I need effectiveness or efficiency. In this person doesn't understand me. Also understanding. Maybe even the need of ease and flow. So this can be also needs that are in the game. So this small exercise was just to show us that even though we have some judgments, and we will always have judgments, that's the way we are built. In nonviolent communication, it's not that we say that we don't have judgments, because always this is the way we are built. Our eyes are looking outside and not inside. That's 80% of the information that comes to the brain comes from the eyes, and our eyes are so strong vehicle, or let's say, so we just get it so quickly, and we look outside. And if we look outside, of course, always we will have these judgments. So the idea is always to look inside, and from the inside, we'll have more a connection to ourselves. So even though it's possible to see all acts as an attempt to meet needs, like we see even now in judgments, most of us, or let's say all of us, were taught something else. And what we were taught is, let's call it our habitual way of thinking, or our robotic mind, is the right wrong, or shouldn't, good evil way of thinking. If I look at something that I look on somebody that I called him stupid, and I look at how he walks in the garden, I think, yeah, he should do this, he shouldn't do that. Right, wrong way of thinking, good, evil. This is the way we were raised, of course, always in the big religions. This is in our culture. This is in our educational system, in the court system, in the communication. This is the way people speak. And the problem is that when we use judgment language, we are less likely to consider or meet our needs, because we are looking outside. We are judging, we are looking outside. We are not looking what are really our deep needs behind our actions or the actions of others. So, but if I consider the needs behind the judgments, behind my judgments or the others, first of all, I pass the ball into my own hands, right? And I don't let the other manage us, because I'm looking only about myself. I'm not saying that he is responsible or she is responsible for this, what happened. I'm looking first of all at myself. And then I connect to myself. What are my needs instead of blaming? And then it's very easy to me to fulfill my needs. Instead of blaming, I'm looking inside, what are my needs? And then I'm able to fulfill them instead of blaming. This is the whole story. And then I can live an easier and happier life with compassion to others and to myself. This by the way, it goes also to judgments that we have also about ourselves, which are also very painful. And of course, it brings, can go to depression, all these judgments about ourselves, it doesn't help. It just will bring us into depression. But if we, instead of going into depression, look inside the judgment and what are the needs, we always have needs, even when we judge ourselves. We have needs. So then instead of blaming, we can, okay, what am I trying to get? Usually when we have these judgments about ourselves, we have two personas that are taking place here. The one that is judging and the one that is being judged. So also in the course, or maybe even today, we can work with two sides inside ourselves. Now, this is, of course, easy to understand, but this is a very big challenge to go from judgments into compassionate behavior. Like even the hardest is when somebody is judging us, of course. And then our feelings are getting, really like vibrating in the body. And it's very hard to stop the judgments. So this is an easy thing to say, but a hard task to do. As I told you, this is my 5th year in the compassion course, and I think only last year I really got the understanding of what is compassion really, when somebody is blaming me and I can, not get it into my blaming mode and into this negative cycle. So it takes really time. For me, it took time to dive in and to really understand the other side, really from within, not like in the brain, but really in the feeling. But every time we will find ourselves judging or being judged, and we will decide, this is really a mental decision that we'll decide to look at the needs beneath the judgments. And this will be the hard thing to do because we'll be in the negative cycle, at least at first. We'll be in the feeling that are vibrating, anger, pressure in the eyes, we'll be in the negative cycle. It will be really hard to stop at first. And this we'll learn how to do week 12. But when we decide to act differently, we'll be able to fulfill ourselves much easier and live a happy life. So this is the really strong thing about judgments. And yeah, this is my summary of the week. And from there, I would like to hear also what are your takes about it. Any questions, anything that pops up in your mind that you want to share before we go into practices.
Yeah. So I went through the week and it was really nice for me to kind of to think and to know that everything is concepts. So concepts like the law,
Shahira, you have like something with yeah, maybe you try without the earphones, or let's try to, maybe it will be better. Maybe.
You tell me, is it better?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, for me, I went through the week too, and point by point. So for me, I like everything, like when I'm judging, it's only coming from concepts. So nothing is real. So it's all coming from concept. So I'm evaluating, and then I'm evaluating to be able to judge. And then without the judgment, there will be no perception. So like when I'm judging, it's all coming from a perception, which is coming from concepts. Like whatever, like when I had an emotion, it kind of creates sensation in the body. And then, yeah, so it creates perception. I decide that, okay, that was bad, that should not happen, that was evil, and things like that. So that was my first things that I worked really hard this week to kind of, okay, what is the concept? And then the concept, yeah, right, wrong, just looking at my notes. Yeah, and also to kind of, for me to remember that like any should or should not, it's really pervasive form of judgment. So it's like whenever like I say should or should not, it's like it's a judgment. So yeah, I think for now, like on what has been said is yeah,
Okay.
and that projection makes the perceptions. So
Okay. I just to add something. I know
Yes.
you are in the Course of Miracles, but the
Yes.
difference, I know, but the difference a little bit is that in nonviolent communication, it's not only perception. Of course, it's in the mind. You know, the judgments are in the mind. But in nonviolent communication, we also get into the heart. As the mind thinks constantly, also the heart thinks constantly. And the heart thinks constantly with the feelings. And you're right. We can get into the, yeah, actually, there are two ways to get into the needs, one from the feelings and one from the judgments. So last week, next week we will speak about the feelings. And this is really, for me, this is even easier way to get into my own needs, but the judgments are very strong as well. So these are the two ways to get into the needs awareness. Into the feelings is getting into really our gut feelings. So when we get like slowly, by doing this work, you will really be able to understand how to make proper decisions, let's say, because you really will get into your body and you will really feel, okay, this is good for me or this is not, you know. And in the judgment, it's a little bit different story. Usually we have feeling and a judgment when something is getting wrong, when we have anger. So we will play with it as the course progress. And if anyone wants to add or something to what Shahira is saying, just said, or if you have any other insights, this is the time.
I think it's too abstract to answer now for me. I mean, right and wrong are two vague judgments. I still stick to judgments sometimes, but they are much more specific and almost point at the needs. But I don't always come to needs, I think. And yeah, maybe it's a part of my job to make judgments constantly, decide what's important, what's not important, what will work, what will not work, and so on. Maybe it's became a habit.
Yeah, so this is also, we call it assessments. It's not that you know, you took the course last year. So we will dive into more about judgments, and there are different kinds of judgments. Also an assessment, like, okay, am I going with my car to park? Is my car fitting in this parking space? This is also kind of judgment. We call it assessment. It's not really judgment, but not all of our right, wrong is a judgment. Something, okay, this is what is right for me right now. This is like to know what's good for you. So we can go from judgment into understanding what can work better. But this is, for me, it's like assessment and not a real judgment, you know. But yeah, you are right. This is kind of judgment. I also want to add something I forgot to put in the presentation, that for beginners and also for advanced, after we know about judgments, it's very easy for us when somebody is judging to stop and say, hey, this is a judgment. This is, you know, out of the game, like this. And then this is, again, we are going into the negative cycle. Because when we say this is a judgment, this is also a judgment, and it will never help. Just the opposite. It will turn the person, you know, the other way. So if you hear judgment, the strongest thing to do is with a couple, with a spouse, you know, this is really hard, or with the close ones. When they are judging you, the idea is to translate. What are the needs behind their judgments, so you can relate it to the needs and or even to the feeling, and not to the judgment itself, because the judgment is really harmful. So the judgment will always take you into the negative cycle. And at first, we have to stop the negative and go to the positive cycle. So this is also just a thing to bear in mind when you hear judgments.
Will you be going over ways to do that? Because I find that challenging just in the moment. Like if I get sucked into the negative with the judgment, then I just kind of like lose my consciousness in the moment. And so I'm curious if there's like some techniques around that to stay more present and like go for like the underlying need, because that sounds way more effective for sure.
So any ideas how to do it?
Short inhales, long exhales, as I heard.
Yeah. So the idea is to slow down. Like the idea is to recognize you have a judgment and you are going into a negative cycle. So the best way to slow, like if we are into this, if we think that we have it, it's good to slow and to get into, first of all, we give ourselves compassion. We connect with ourselves. How are we feeling? What are our needs? So we first give empathy to ourselves. Like it's like in the airplane that first we have the gas mask. We have to put on ourselves before the children. So first we give ourselves compassion, because before we'll give ourselves compassion, it will be very hard for us to resonate with the other person. So first, and it's really okay to slow down. Like, you know, you are so used to speak fast and like this. So, but, you know, let's slow down. And the best way to slow down, if it's really impossible for you to continue, is to take a break. Like if you see that you are going to say something that you are going to regret, and this is about boundaries. This we'll explore more later on in the course, but like this is very strong practice. Like I'm also give couple sessions, and this is, you know, usually they come to me when they are into the bed cycle. So the first thing I teach is how to take a break. Like you really need to, I'm stopping now. I'm going to take a break for half an hour, because I don't want to say anything that will make the situation worse. So you are not stopping the other person. You're putting boundary to yourself. You are saying you are going to take a break. You are not asking, you are saying. You are not asking because the other person will get you into the negative cycle. Because he is also, or she are in the negative cycle. So also for them, it's hard to stop. So we are telling them we are going to take a break because we don't want to say anything that will we will regret after, and we will come back. And we also say like, okay, I will come back in half an hour, an hour. You know, you tell them when, because it's reassuring, as we said before, like in the check-ins. It's really reassuring them that we are not running away or we don't want to speak. We tell them we are going to come back, but in like 1 hour maybe. And then in the 1 hour that we are taking a break, we are thinking, we're giving ourselves empathy. How are we feeling right now? What are our needs? And also we try to think about the other person, what he or she are feeling at the moment, and what are their needs. So we come again to the conversation much more relaxed, and we come to the conversation again only if we feel a little bit more grounded and less angry. Like it's okay also to have some anger, but maybe 20% less. Like, okay, we resonating, you know, we are ready to speak now. And always, if you find yourself into this negative cycle, even to take 3 times a break, but at least 20 minutes. 20 minutes is in the cognitive cycle of when the cells are, the connection between the cells, you know, this is physically, are getting a little bit disconnected again. When we are angry, we are forming this connection between the cells. So we have to dissolve it, and then we can go back to the conversation. This we will dive really more deeply very soon, like week 5 or so. And does this answer your questions? Ask Ariel.
Yeah, thank you for that. I've heard that before. It sounds really simple and easy. Then when in the moment, sometimes I find it really challenging to do that. But again, I guess it's a practice. And I have this other question. I'm like, is this just so common in our human connection that this stuff comes up? Like, because I often think about how we're not really taught communication skills in school, like I think we should be. But, you know, things like conflicts and whatnot aren't really openly discussed. And I think there's this like image out there that we should always be in harmony and peace with one another and be getting along. But then there's not so much talk about what happens when it's not like that. And so I'm just learning in my personal journey that maybe conflict is just a natural part of our human relation, and that's something we just need to learn how to handle better. Because I've suddenly like found myself thinking really negatively when there's a conflict that comes up in my relationships, and then I think it's doomed, like it's the end of the world. Oh my gosh, we have a conflict. But yeah, just curious your perspective on that.
You know that conflicts are, you know, how do you say? We can't escape. Always when there are two, more than one, but also with ourselves we have conflicts, you know. But conflicts are the ground for progress. Always. This is so. This is like, this is in the cycles. This is my other not occupation, also occupation, but my other practice is Taoism. So this, you know, the yin and the yang, and so when there is this conflict, yeah, this is the time that we go in to the yin, we go in, and then we can go out to the yang, and this I can. But yeah, conflicts are really good for spiritual, for personal growth. This is, you know, if we take 100, this is not 50-50. Marshall Rosenberg also said, this is 100% your responsibility if something went wrong. You know, we always could be more compassionate to the other. You know, we always can dive in, and it's like the depth is always we can go deeper. You know, so we are not Mama Teresa yet. You know, so it will always, you will always have to, and this is the way to progress. You know, like, so this is the gift. And also about what you said last time, this is about doing this stops, you know, when you have this negative cycle. Last week, I heard from Shahira, you know her, Omalani. She told me, you also know her? That a mistake is like mistake. So always we'll have another takes, like in the film industry, you know, like, yeah, just, okay, we have another opportunity to do another take now. And, you know, still we get it. So don't blame you. Okay, I know. Always we will go backwards, and at the beginning it will be, you will catch it not online, but after, like after a day, 2 days, an hour after, you'll get but this is at first, and then slowly, as we slow down, we'll be able to be compassionate to ourselves, you know, like this, like, okay, we will be so used to it, to get into the feelings, so we'll just leave it, you know. And also I think humanity, especially here, you know, like people are nowadays, the quantum leap is getting closer. So yeah, I'm optimistic, at least in the good places, you know. So and this is the reason also for this practice group, to surround ourselves with people that are resonating with this needs awareness and being compassionate, and to, you know, it will grow as we do it. And also, of course, there are other practices that are also very good, you know. Nonviolent communication is just one part. Okay, thank you. Any more before we go into practice? Yalla, let's do some practices. I will get the PowerPoint again. Okay, first practice. This will do everyone with his or her own. And the idea is to translate judgments in you. Okay, first of all, to notice judgments, and then to translate it into needs awareness. So this I add a little bit in bit. This is not in the course itself. The middle column. So in the left, you do yourself like 3 columns. In the left one, you say, what is the judgment? You can practice it. Let's say you have judgment about somebody, about a situation, about yourself. Pick a subject that you have some judgments about this, about me, you know, like, think what do we want to work with, and just write down. We call it crocodile's party. You just, in Costa Rica, you just take out all the judgments and really enjoy it. Like, really use your jackal language. Jackal is the opposite of it's really like our habitual way, and we even celebrate your judgments, you know, like, he's so stupid, he's blah, blah, you know, like, really take it all out without judging you as the judger. So first write all the judgments. And then in the middle column, you write the opposite. Like, if I'm saying on somebody who is so critical, so the opposite of criticism is you are so accepting and appreciative. Okay, just think of the opposite of what is the judgment, and then the need will be really easy to find, because this is like okay, what is the opposite of criticism is acceptance, and the needs are acceptance and appreciation, for an example. Another example, he thinks of no one else. The opposite of this is He's so considerate and caring. So we have a need of consideration and caring. Okay. And any questions before we give it time, before we dive into it? So let's take, everyone can have a pen and a paper. Let's give it 7 minutes. And also, this is a time to go to the baño if you need to. So I need to. So let's take 7 minutes to party on with judgments and take it from judgments into needs. So have fun with your judgments and we'll come back in 7 minutes. Okay, so we give it 2 more minutes. Okay, 1 more minute.
It's for some reason it's challenging to remember now.
But
Like being judged or judging someone. I definitely judge people sometimes, but I try to remember a particular case, and nothing comes to my mind.
okay, if it doesn't come into your mind, do you have judgments about yourself?
Okay.
Do I have something?
For example, that I'm ineffective in writing judgments.
Okay, so you have, okay, so the judgment is that you are ineffective. You don't know how to do it. You don't know how to do judgments, how to work with judgments like this.
Like I need to write some judgments, as I understand, and I try to remember something. Usually, I need like 5 seconds or 10 seconds to remember, and now I cannot recall anything.
Okay, so what's your, let's take it from the judgment into needs awareness. Let's say, what is the opposite of you are ineffective with judgments?
Effectiveness, productiveness, maybe.
Okay, maybe self-awareness also.
Actually, I'm not sure in this term.
Okay,
It's like about understanding what's going inside me, because it's not about my memories, maybe.
you want to be more sharp, like yeah, but this is just like you can't remember now of you have like a blackout of you can't think of judgment.
I think that when I had them, I processed them somehow, and I don't bear them anymore, and it's difficult to remember what was bothering me then. There was something, but I don't really care and don't remember.
Okay.
uh,
Okay, so you can work with the judgment about yourself that you don't have. So this is okay. So this is as you said, like you need a way a need to effectiveness. And we are not even speaking now about how to fulfill this need. We are now just finding the need. And the next step, not today, maybe, we will do it in the next, I think we might do it in the next exercise. How to go from judgment into strategies, to fulfillment. It will be in the last, I think, in the last exercise. Okay, other than Stanislav, any sharing that you come up with the judgments?
Okay. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I took something that happened this week, and I felt like, I know it's not a feeling, but I felt betrayal. So I had the need of accountability and acknowledgement. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So the need of accountability, like, was really important, and trust. So accountability, dependability, trust. And then I did the opposite after doing my need. So the opposite of betrayal would be trustable, accountable, dependable.
Yeah.
This is what we do, right? We just say like the judgment. We don't say what happened, right? It's just the judgment.
Yeah, for now, yes. It's not. This is like in a small practice. We'll after go into breakout rooms. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the doing the opposite, the in between stage, is just this is usually the way I teach to beginners. But we don't always have to go into the opposite, because this is like an intermediate stage. We can go directly from the blaming to the needs if it's easier for you. The reverse, the opposite will be just to help you if you can't find the needs.
I like that.
That's for beginners usually. Okay, thank you. More? I see there is an iPhone here. The iPhone belongs to one of you, or okay. Also, if you want to just say your name in the chat, if it's possible, that we will know you are with us. Any more judgments that you come up that you want to share? Okay, I will share. Mine. Yeah, I had actually. Yeah. I had an incident with my landlord, who is we were waiting for him to come for like 2-3 weeks, just for like 5 minutes thing to fix, really small thing. And we were waiting for it, and every like once in a while I was nagging him to come and check something with the house. And then when I wasn't home, the technician could come. And so it was like they were calling me, I wasn't available, So owner just let him go. Like he said, okay, although he doesn't have to go inside, just outside. And it's really like 10,000 colones, like $20 to pay. Like I had to pay, but so the owner let him go and not like didn't say that he will come and fix it because he didn't want to pay him, like something like this, So for my judgment was that he's stupid, like to pay $20, and anyway I have a deposit of 200, so it's like I was really like like this. And yeah, so the needs behind my judgment are efficiency, flow, ease, trust, and also results. Also, it's kind of intermediate need, but it's like efficiency. But I needed, the thing to be fixed. So I needed it, to also maybe peace of mind, because I'm leaving tomorrow the house and I wanted everything to be fixed. So this is me. Any other before we
Can we
dive into?
say more than one?
Okay, let's go.
Well, just for practice. So I was hearing somebody and his judgment, and then I judge like, okay, the person is greedy. So that was a judgment, the thought that came to me. And the need that I had was for transparency, honesty. So the middle one, because I'm just doing it on the spot here. So the opposition of greedy will be generous, I guess. And yeah, greedy, and the opposite can be also for me like open-minded. So yeah, so it's like the need was, and okay, so if it's generous, yeah, so there will be also a need of generosity in in the way that he's thinking, or being open-minded, that he can
Also,
be rich.
also, by the way, also when you say about someone that he's generous, this is also a judgment. This is a positive judgment. You know, when you say,
Yes.
okay, this is also a judgment. But anyway, the need is generosity or abundance, like this. Yeah. Also, we have judgments when we say positive things about somebody.
Yeah,
This
so
also-
that would be the opposite, right? That you ask us to do will be the, yeah, okay.
Okay, gracias.
Yeah,
would like-
welcome.
Let's go dive into the next one. I'm thinking even to okay, well, let's see. Wait. Okay. I think I will skip this. I will skip this one, so we'll have more time for the breakout. Okay. Let's skip this one and let's go just to the last practice. And for this one, I would like to go into breakout rooms. So we'll have like I don't know how many. Well, like, okay. So we'll go into breakout rooms. So the idea is it will take us longer time. So I want at least, yeah, let's make it like almost 20 minutes for each. So think of someone you have held a judgment about for a long time, like, you know, for about 3 months. Someone, you know, you have someone in your mind that you have a judgment. If you can't find, also it's okay to have, you know, like less than 3 months, of course, but think of someone that you have held a judgment for a long time. So what needs of yours might be associated with the judgment, like exactly what we did before, but it might be harder for you because this is not like everyday thing. This is like, you know, a deep judgment that you have. And the next stage is, and this we'll do in couples. The next thing is to write 3 ways you might meet this need that may or may not include the person the judgment is about. So as I summarize this practice, first, someone you have a judgment about, what are the needs beneath, and so this you do with your, we call it empathy body, because and the way the empathy body works is only by asking a question. So we will divide ourselves into 2, like one will be the sharing and the other will be the listener. And the listener, his or her job will be to ask only a question about needs. Like, is it this need? Is it the need of self-awareness, for an example? So the one who is listener can only help with the question of, is it this need? So don't give advice about the situation or like this. Just be curious about what needs are alive in the person who is sharing. Okay, this will lead us after as we progress into empathy and compassionate listening and talking. But for now, this is only the first stage. So this you do together, and then you can think together of 3 ways that you might meet this need without even the person involved. Because if we have, for an example, a need of communication, let's say I'm mad about my sposa, my girlfriend, let's say, and I want to speak with her. So the need to self-expression can be with her, that I want to speak with her, but also it can be, you can have it with another person. It doesn't have to be that you can solve the problem with her. You can do it also with another, you know. It's not, so this is, for an example, the way to move from strategy that you really need to talk with your friend now or whatever, to think maybe, okay, maybe I can talk to another person. Maybe I can have some other strategy that might meet this need. Okay, so you understand the concept of the practice? Any questions before we breakout room? Okay, so what I suggest, let's give almost 20 minutes to each, like 18. And when you do it, really take turns. Whoever wants to go, the other person really take a timer, that it will be mutual. You know, that usually the person that first speaks takes the whole time. So be careful, you know, not to take the whole time. Really divide it into a timer, and even take like 15 minutes. So you will have 2 more minutes to finish up, you know. So finish with one person, breathe, like, okay, let's take a 10 seconds break, and then continue. You know, don't do straight away, go to the other. Change energy a little bit. So this is the practice, and we'll come back here like 10 minutes to 1 o'clock here in Costa Rica time, like 10 minutes before the end of the hour. Okay, so let's take, I think it will be like 15 minutes to each. It will be enough. So I'm stopping the share, so just have the practice in your, know that what is the practice. We'll do breakout rooms. Let's see what will come up. Okay, so Astaria and Shahira, you will be in room number 1, and Stanislav and myself will be in number 2. So yeah, see you 10 minutes before the end of the hour. All right, coming back. So how was your practice? Would you like to share some insights, questions, difficulties, whatever comes up?
Yeah, I found it difficult to like even know what my needs are and then how to implement them. But I think the practice is really important. It's like, wow, instead of projecting my needs onto somebody else, how can I meet my own needs? And then I got kind of stuck because I was like, I don't even know what I need exactly. And then how would I give that to myself? So I'm, with that little piece of awareness, I'm going to start making a list of my needs just so I can get some clarity. And that's sort of where in the end was that I need to give myself more clarity And then I can do that by writing down my needs and starting to see like what they are. So,
Yeah. And how was the work with Shahira? Did she help you figure it out?
yeah,
easier?
she was helpful. It was
Okay.
good to have somebody to reflect with, and just she had some good suggestions for me. So.
Yeah, it really helps, this empathy body practice. Also, I recommend without outside the group. Also, you can find in the compassion course or also in other nonviolent communication groups empathy body that you can work with, and it's really for me it was really nice. Also, it's like not in the pressure of the group, you know, that we have only limited time. We can do it, and it's really nice. So you can dive. It's like therapy, actually, you know, like, and most of the people that coming to these groups have all other, you know, so it's a really nice thing to not to think only by yourself, but also with other people. Anyone else about some insights or about the practice?
So I'm really feeling excited. I take anxiety out. But I'm feeling excited. Yeah, I really like the sharing and to see like, okay, it's easy to have intellectual knowledge and things, but when it comes to ourselves and to really know exactly what are our needs and how to implement them, it's like, yeah, it takes practice. And yeah, so I'm open for empathy buddy and practice. Like if ever, you know, anybody wants, like I'm available every day, anytime we see, but I'm making myself available for that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, excellent. So yeah, also in the compassion course, there is a list of directory of people that
Yes.
are willing to do empathy body, and so you can put yourself in the list, and
Yeah.
you can just somebody that you would like to work with, and that can
Yeah.
be nice.
Yeah. For me to have done this exercise and to complete, I really felt like, you know, because I was looking at my need and how I get there and things, and I felt like a lift
Yeah.
about the judgment I had. So I felt more peaceful.
Nice.
Yeah. So I kind of reached the needs that I had. I have been able like to get in touch with those needs and to give me what I needed to meet them just in the short time that we had. So that was beautiful. Like she was really, really helpful. Yeah.
Nice.
So thank
Yeah,
you.
said at the beginning that nonviolent communication or compassionate communication is very strong with self-fulfillment. It's not only about communicating, it's really, first of all, to know ourselves, and it's really a wonderful method to do it. And yeah, great. And this is only the beginning, of course, and we'll dive much more deep into the practice. Yeah, also for us, it was really interesting, you know, Stanislav offered me one need that I didn't think of. You know, like this is the nice thing about empathy bodies, that, yeah, okay, I didn't think about it. Okay, this is like a new direction, and then okay, we can think also. I can think also in this new direction of a new need that I didn't think of, and it was interesting. Any more sharing before we close the session?
Maybe I can say that the last step was to come up with some strategies, and I'm glad that I implemented a lot of strategies to fulfill my needs. Like already, that's cool.
Yeah, this is like coaching. Like we do first the internal process of today. It was about judgments, but judgments, feelings, what are the needs, and then the strategies, the ways to fulfill this is really like coaching, like, okay, how do we
Yeah,
do it
yeah.
now? This is really nice thing about nonviolent communication, that it's not only in the spiritual or the emotional realm, but also, yeah, okay, how do we do it now in our real life? And this is very strong. So this is very not only practical, but it takes us from the looking inside to really practical progress in our life. And yeah, for me, it's done a great shift. So yeah, in the other practice group, in the Israeli one, they asked me to emphasize more the strategies. Always, as we dive more into the practice, it will be more difficult for us to find the needs, like when conflicts arise, and we'll take more time into filling the needs. And really, it's really strong and recommended also to take time for the fulfillment or to the strategies. So yeah, it was a good practice. Before we close, any questions about the compassion course or like technical stuff that you want to ask? I don't know. I think Shahira and Stanislav, you are in the compassion course already, right? You are registered, yeah. And Astaria, just to let you know, in order to be in this group, you have to sign in for the compassion course. I put it in the chat, and if you want, I can after forward it to you. But tomorrow is the last day to sign in. So after like it's 2 weeks since the start. So if you want to join this group, like I have, this is part of the agreement that all of us will be in the compassion course. And then also to join the compassion course, it's really easy. It's really almost nothing or nothing. So I really recommend it anyway, even without a group. But the group really is, I did the first year without a group, and there is a big difference as you do it by yourself or with the group. And also the good thing about it that every week you get the mail and you can read it, and even if you miss a session with the group, you still can keep in touch and your process with your own. Yeah. So any questions about this?
Yeah, I don't really know much about it. So is this kind of it? Like you would meet 2 hours every week, or there's more things involved with participating? Yeah. And is it this, like, are there more people that are going to be in this group, or is this the group? And
okay.
Just curious.
Yeah, I just noticed that the time of the session is over. So also, since you can stick around, but this is more technical stuff. So feel free also to leave the session if you feel like it. So the compassion course consists of, let's say, few elements. One element is you get a mail every week. It's really like 10 minutes reading. And as I said, it's really, the concept itself of nonviolent communication is easy, but it's getting deeper. So every time we go into a different subject or different point of view, looking at the same from different angles. So we'll go into anger, we'll go into conflict resolutions, we'll go into inner growth, many subjects. Empathy, how to listen with empathy to people, how to listen to yourself, these concepts. So this is the mail, and you get like what you saw today, like 3 exercises are from the course. And also I made a little shiftments for the group, but also, it's like the original is like to do it by your own. But sometimes I did a little bit, there is a difference between if you do it by yourself or by the group. But these are the practices. So this was like an example. Also, there is a monthly conference with Tom Bond, who was the personal assistant of Marshall Rosenberg. And he's like, this course is all over the world with thousands of participants, I think like 20 languages, it's really it's big. So in the monthly conference, you can, it's like big from conference from all over the world. To tell you the truth, I usually don't attend the live sessions. I just say there are the recordings. You can listen to it I usually listen to it while I drive, because it's so big. It's not like this group is, really practice. And there it's like he talks and explain more a little bit, but it's very recommended to come and attend it or to get the recordings. And then also there is a forum that you can attend and ask questions and like this. So this is the part of the compassion course. And other the compassion course, there are many practice groups. My practice group is only one. I have actually two. I have one in Hebrew and one in English, but there are many groups. I do recommend to, it's like to go to this specific, the same group, because you know the people, and it's like you're starting to have an intimate relationships, and it's really nice to, you see the progress and you grow together. But also it's nice to exchange and to go to different groups, and like this, it's nice. So this is an option. Also, there is a mentoring option, like you said before, about the needs that you don't even have knowledge about it. So maybe a mentoring option might be good also for you. I'm also delivering mentoring option if you're interested, but there are many. And yeah, so there are practice group, mentoring, email. Yeah, in this group we meet once every Tuesday. This is the time. I really like the weekly, like it's really to do progress together. I have no idea who will attend. Who, like last week, more people came, and some people even ask me now and that they missed it. I hope a little bit more people. For me, it will be nice, like between 4 to 8 people. That's my what I'm aiming for. I do ask for exchange, but it's a request. It's not a demand. So it's like I ask for a sliding scale of $10 to $15 a session, but also you can offer other, even to tell a friend or just to come. It's like I don't do it for this reason. Like I do want it, at least for now, first to bring more people. So feel free, whatever. And the good thing this is part of the practice, to feel in your heart if you resonate with the requested amount. It's too much, it's too little. You don't, it's like you really feel, and then you can give from your heart, or just to come and participate. It can also, like, this is your giving. So this is part of the practice, to feel your feeling and what are the needs, and if their needs are economic security, and like it's too stressful. So also it's good. Like this is part of the process as we do it, So this is about this group. And if you have just a reminder, tomorrow is the last day to sign in for the compassion course. All right, great. All right. So thank you so much. Any more questions?
So this is a global thing, so everyone's doing it the same course at the same pace, the same subject every week kind of thing. Okay, cool.
That's what makes it nice, that you can, even if you miss, you can do the work on yourself. And it's nice, it's like 15 minutes, 10 minutes reading. And also you can always switch between practice groups. Okay, I want now this week, I want a mentor. Like you can always, everybody are progressing together. So, it's easier to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ariel, or you, did you receive like the email? Did you receive an email that explained what it is?
About the compassion course?
Yes, for her.
if she did receive it, because it might help her to kind of, if she's seeing it and reading it herself, and being in contact with the energy of what is the training and the groups, and to have a better.
Good idea. If you want, Astaria, you can also send me after the WhatsApp to your mail. If you want, I can send you like the first 2 weeks. Also in the website, you can see some examples of like this. I do suggest to go to the website, but I really can send you some like examples. Maybe
Okay, cool.
about the slowing down, how to stop a negative cycle. So this I can send you just to, yeah, if you want some, how it works.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome you all for coming and sharing and participating. So hope to see you next week. And till then, bye-bye.
Thank you everybody. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.